Hello, you're welcome back to my channel. This is My Story Unfiltered, and I'm your host, Atari Sheila. And today, as I promised, we have a guest with us here who is going to share with us their story, their unfiltered story, the real deal, and they're going to give it to us the way it is. You're welcome, Dr. Brian.
Thank you, Sheila.
Thank you for honoring my invitation.
Thanks for the invite.
Yes, and I would like you to share with the viewers your story so that we know who you are. You know, I'm calling you Dr. Brian, but we want to know where you started from and what it's about. So kindly introduce yourself to the viewers.
Yes, I'm Dr. Brian Bluke. I'm a doctor, and at the same time, I'm a resident of Masters in General Surgery. I'm a recording singer, songwriter.
Yeah.
Some of the songs are already there out.
Sure.
Yes. I'm born from Jinja, and I stay in Imbarara.
Yes.
I've spent in Imbarara maybe around 10 years. Yeah.
The land
This
of
is my
milk and
home.
honey.
Yes, the land of milk and honey. Now 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Thank you for staying in Mbara. It's really a nice place. If you haven't been to Mbara, you should visit. It's a nice place. So thank you so much. So want to know, you said you were born in Jinja. How was it? And are you the firstborn? Are you the lastborn? Do you still have your parents? How was it when you were growing up?
Yes, I'm born to Buluke Fred. He's a teacher, secondary school teacher, and Buluke Sala, who is a nursery teacher in Jinja. They are not teaching in government schools, but they are teachers in the private setting. Anything else? I think that's it.
You were the firstborn or the lastborn?
Yes, I'm the second born.
Okay.
Of 9.
Of 9.
Yes.
So you're saying your father was still teaching.
Yes.
So how was it? Were you guys one of the planned kids? How was life? Basically, want to know how was life.
No, I'm not a planned kid. That's what people say. I'm the plan. I'm now starting to be the plan. However, from a humble background. That's the word I should use, because if you say poor background, it's not very nice. But I'm from a humble background. By the time I was born, my dad was still at campus.
Wow.
And my mom was also in high school, and she didn't complete. So I was the firstborn of my mom. So I made my mom leave school.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So my dad was at campus. So by the time I was like 3 years, I think my dad also left campus. He didn't complete. So they just now started doing the usual work of farming for some time. And so where I grew up from, we would do farming, and then we also do this local brew. Ogwebigere. Yes, Ogwebigere. So you do local brew, you get those bananas, they are ripe, you put them in the hole, and when you put Macintosh there, and then you step to make that,
to get the juice out.
Then you ferment that juice and sell. So that was what my grandmother on the paternal side was doing. And then my father and mom, they were farming. So when I reached, of course, at first, my dad was a campuser and my mom was also just from high school, and they liked this bright future for the child. So at first, they thought they would manage. So they took me to a private primary school, which was for their friend, but a little bit expensive. So I started from there for like 3 classes, and the debts of school fees accumulated a lot. So I had to now shift. So now in P3, I shifted to a government primary school. That time UPE was there. So UPE, I shifted to a UPE school, which is called Huwaji Primary School. When I was in Huwaji Primary School, I studied 2 classes, and my dad again felt like he could afford. He took me to another private school. I was there for 1 academic year, P5. And still, school fees became a problem. I went to another UPE school, which is called Chomia Primary School. So as I was studying in Chomia Primary School, my mom started a business of samosas. So she would make samosas. And that time the samosas were for cowpeas. So would make samosas, and then they were for cowpeas, and each samosa was 50 shillings. So she would make around maybe 100 of them, and that would give us like 5,000 shillings. So before going to school in the morning, I would wake up and first do door to door. I sell. If like there are 100 of them, and I sell like, let's say 50, then I come, then I go with them at school. After dressing up, I go with them at school. As I sit in class, they're in the corner there. So when it reaches break time, I again go outside and start selling.
Wow.
So in the school, I was known for selling samosas, both in class and on the roadside. So at first, it was hard for my teachers to accept because I would come late. So until one time my mom came and explained to them. I was like, this boy has to first make some money, and then he comes to school. So that's how I would survive. So actually, I did the selling of samosas up to my senior 6.
Were you a day scholar?
In primary school, I was a day scholar. And so, as I've told you, I would come with the samosas in class. I put them in the corner. I sit behind. They teach. When I finish at break time, I go and sell. Let's say I sell like 30. Then they are 50,000 shillings. It's 50 shillings each. So if you sell like 10, that's 500. That's it. If you sell 10. No, if you sell 10 of them, each is 50.
Oh dear. That's 500.
Yes.
Usually.
So if you sell 10, it's 500 shillings. So if you sell 20, that's 1,000 shillings.
My Lord Jesus.
Yeah. So
how much was school fees at that time? For example.
So the good thing, I was in UPE, so we would pay for, it's called the Ezobu Zimbi. It's the development fee, and then we'd pay also like breakfast meals. So you would pay for porridge and for portion at lunch. So you would pay maybe, I don't know, maybe like 70,000. But remember, we are 9. So that by that time we are maybe 4. So that money we are making would help.
So also your siblings were also selling samosas?
I was selling. They were younger than me. So they would somehow depend on that. And the firstborn was a lady, so for her, she wasn't put through the selling of samosas. So I was selling, and it would help at home and with these other siblings of mine, because they were also in the same schools. So some stories are funny like that. Remember, the samosa is 50 shillings. So I would come and like reach in a home, a child who is even younger than me calls me. Maybe the father has given him 200 shillings. He calls me, I come, he buys 1 samosa. That is 50 shillings.
You have to give back balance.
Yes. So after, I look for change. I walk to the shops, I get the 150 shillings, I give back. Then I walk. When I reach the other side, then the child says, samosa. Then I come back. And then he says, okay, add me 1.
Oh, the very same child.
Yeah. Then he gives me the 50 shillings, I add them 1. So now when I realize, okay, this one has 200, and he most likely wants to finish it. So I say, okay, now when I walk, I should walk when my ears
are listening.
Or I be around. So that's how I would do it. And that one of that technique would help me. So I'm among these boys who come with samosas and they want the child to see and cry for it so that the parent
can buy.
Yes. So those are all the techniques.
Marketing techniques.
Yeah. That's how I was known, dear. And that's what I did. Of course, they reached a time around P7. Now the business of samosa alone was not sufficient now.
Enough.
So we had to involve other businesses. So other things I did were, Molokoni. So Molokoni, we would go to the butcher, we buy the legs, then we bring home, and the head of the cow. Then we bring home, and then we roast and remove the skin like this, and then we cut the pieces. So we sell for the head, we sell this, it's called the vigodo. So you boil, and people be buying like 200 shillings each. Then the molokon, the piece of molokon would be like at 500 shillings.
Yes, Jesus, cheap.
Yes. So you would buy it, maybe you go to the shop, you buy like at 700 to the butcher, and then at the butcher, when they sell it to you at 700 shillings, then you come and make like 4 pieces. So if you boil them without frying, because people just want boiled with some onions and salt. So you would make maybe 2,000 from the 700. So if we buy like 10 of them, it means that it will make some more money. So we would boil, and then some people would come and buy at home. Then on the market day, like the way it's like in Nairobi corner, there is a market. So we would take the market day, and we sit there in the evening, and with our charcoal stove, and then we warm, and when someone comes, we keep on the plate with soup, and they eat.
With food or just?
No, sometimes we make chapati. My mom was good at baking, so you make chapati. So someone buys that molokoni, a piece, and chapati. Then you cut for them, you put, and they eat the molokoni.
Okay.
So those are some of the businesses that
you did. Yeah. At this point, how is your performance with all the multitasking that you're doing? You're working, you're running to school, you're late. So how are you performing?
So I was a bright kid.
Oh.
So my performance was only bad because in primary, I have told you that my mother is a nursery teacher.
Yes.
So in nursery, before she taught me at home, and I refused to go to her class. And I told her I want to go to P7.
I'm sorry.
So I knew that the topmost class someone can go on is P7. So my mom wanted to take me to her nursery school. I told her, already I've learned.
I know.
Take me to P7. So she takes me to the first school I told you.
Yes.
So when they took me to that first school, they told me to go to nursery. I told them I want P7. So my mom talked to them that if you take, because we all knew where the building of nursery was. So they knew that if they take me there, I wouldn't accept. Go. So they took me to P1. And they told me it is what?
P7.
P7. So I started P1. You get it?
Yes.
And actually, I was doing well.
Oh, wow.
However, when my dad changed me to the next school, the private school, when he felt like he can afford, took me to the private school, I passed the interview. But I think there was a cut-off age. Everyone in that class was like 7 years. And I was, I think, 5. And they said, no, you cannot.
You can't go.
So they repeated me a class because
of age. Oh, dear.
Otherwise, again, when I shifted back to the UPE school, I had developed a group of friends, and we were sitting behind. And the school knew that I came with good marks from a private school, and I'm performing poorly this term, mid-term. So they had to call my parent, and they shifted me in the front.
And from that time, call your parents?
Yes.
To shift you?
Yes.
You must have been a very stubborn child.
It's not very stubborn, but in a primary UPE school, whereby the teacher keeps saying, stop sitting behind.
And you refuse.
you keep there. You can come that time when he's calling you, but the next time when another teacher comes, you go back behind.
Wow.
So that's how I would do it. So, however, Really, my performance was always good. I would always be maybe second or third because of the business. Maybe I'm overcoming
you
late.
wouldn't be the first.
Yes, I wouldn't be the first, but I would be second, third. Okay. And I would be kind because they saw that I had the potential to be
the first one.
Yes.
Okay, so let's move forward. Let's now go to high school and we see how you when you decide to be a doctor, at what stage, what happened.
Yes. So it is just by God's grace.
Amen to that.
Because as I've told you, when you're in UPE, they're around other schools nearby, and the government announced that there will be USE. Actually, USE was supposed to start on our year. So I was very ready that from UPE to USE. The road was already clear. However, when I was in P7 vacation, remember I am in Chomia Primary School, which is a UPE school. It's at the end of our village. Like, because these two primary schools that I went to, the government schools, they're like maybe 4 kilometers apart. So I started Chomia Primary School. I'm not always the first, maybe I'm third, second, fifth. And then we finish PLE. And then students are saying it was easy. I knew somewhere hard. I wasn't very confident about the results. So in the holiday vacation, in this other primary school, Buwaji, which is 4 kilometers from Chomia, where there were some whites who had come to do some charity work in the school. They do the painting, so they buy paint, everything, and they camp in that school for like 2 months, and they keep painting, renovating by themselves. They don't hire anyone. They just buy things, everything, cement. Some of them were engineers, some of them were high school students, so they would come and they do the work in the school. So by the time they left, the school was well renovated. So my dad worked as an interpreter for that period, for 2 months. He would move with them maybe to the shops to buy some things, and he works as an interpreter. So one time they told him that we need someone to wash clothes for them, and also someone to fetch water for them. There was a borehole a little bit far, so they couldn't go and carry jerry cans of water to the place where they're painting. So my dad got a lady somewhere, and that lady started washing for them. And then he came to me and told me, there is a job, they give you 3,000 per day.
Oh, wow.
And you just be fetching water. If the water is enough, they say, go home.
Go home.
You eat their food, and then you come back home. So you work 5 days, Monday to Friday, because Saturday, Sunday, they wouldn't paint. So those 5 days, 3K per day.
Yeah?
So that commander would come and go to dad.
Okay.
Because, as I've told you, I was a boy working for the whole family.
Oh dear.
So when that commander would come, it would help at home. So at the end of the week, when they call my dad, or they give me the 15,000, I take it to my dad. Then he's like, man, you've worked hard. Then he gives me like 500 to buy a Coca-Cola. Those times the sodas were not very expensive. Yes. So you buy the soda. So all gives you for chapati, and you feel like
you've done it. I know.
Yes. So I worked very well, faithfully. The whites, they were like, this boy is very good. They said they have their expensive phones, cameras, everything. But I would see them and keep them safe, not taking anything at home. I see someone's money, I keep it there. So they were like, now this one is a primary child. What can we do for him? So, my mom, they actually, one of them asked, Brian, in case you want anything, you always tell us. So I went home and I told my mom that these whites have told me that in case I want anything, I ask. So for me, sometimes I tell them to buy for me soda or something. So
like any other child.
Yes, like any other child. So she was like, okay. It's good. Then my mom wrote a letter to them. So she wrote a letter asking for capital of, I think it was around maybe 4 million. That time it was a good amount.
Yes.
So she wrote a letter asking for capital. She wrote the head of these people. You get it? And when she wrote this letter, she didn't get a response. 1 week, 2 weeks, and maybe these weeks when they are not interested in something, they don't care. So there are two girls who were very good friends of mine. One was Amy, another one was Aurelia, and they were high school students in Australia. In this group, this whole group was coming from Australia. So I talked to Amy. I wrote actually a small letter. I just got a piece of paper and I wrote her, Amy, I would also like to study in a good school. Help me. Thank you.
Oh dear.
And I signed. In the morning I reached, I gave it to Amy. May I continue with fetching your water. Then I told my dad. They told me you should have not done this. These people, they don't allow them to do such things, to help individuals. They help a community. So the next morning when I went to fetch water, I found Amy. And I felt like she's annoyed. Maybe the letter annoyed her. Then she told me, Brian, I want to talk to you. Then she called her friend called Aurelia. They were both young girls, high school. So they took me, they had made some cake because they were using one of the classroom as their kitchen. So they had set up their microwaves, everything. So they had made the cake. They sat me down, they gave me the cake. They said, Brian, you are a very good person. We would like to help you, but we are not allowed to help individuals. So our leader wouldn't see it good if we help you. However, for us as people, we can help you. We can use our pocket money, our upkeep at school, back home, to be paying for school fees.
What?
So they told me like that. So they said, do you think you perform well in the exams you did? I was like, yes. So they said, if you get a first grade.
Just a first grade?
Just get a first grade. You come to us and we discuss.
They were still going to be there?
It was within the period of...
Oh, okay.
So, but remember, I wasn't always the best in the school. The school had spent 5 years without a first grade. But I was like, I'm going to get the first grade. Remember, there's nothing to change. I already did the what?
Exams.
1 week down the road,
the
results come, and that time we are now starting to use the phones.
The phones.
We press the phone on my daddy's phone, and the school has one first grade.
Oh dear.
Guess who?
Brian. Wow.
So the school has one first grade. It wasn't a very good first grade.
But
it was 11.
Wow.
And it was first grade, and I think it was like among the two in the sub-county. Just two first grades in the sub-county. So I just carried the phone the way it is. The things of screenshot were not there. I just carried the phone the way it is.
Message.
I was like, Amy, your phone, your message is there. First grade. They asked around other Ugandans, is this first grade? Yeah. They told my dad, they called my dad for a meet. Actually, they came at our place. They told my dad, we want to come and visit. So they came, my mom prepared some things. They came, they took some juice. They said, we are not so much want to eat, but we've just come because of Brian. Then they told my dad that we want
to help.
We would like to help your child to study. He said he doesn't want to go in a USE school. So try to choose for him a best school, which he likes and which will admit him. So I had my school in the middle.
The one you wanted, eh? Yeah, you were sharp.
So when I had my school that I wanted, I chose it. I told my dad.
This is what I
remember. They went and now we are communicating on email. all those details shall send an email. We are looking for school. I choose the school. We go there, and the school fees is around. It was Kira College Boutique, the one I wanted.
I've heard of it.
And school fees was around 800,000
at that time.
And I think they were ready to give around that amount.
Hey, yes. Their upkeep would raise upkeep.
Yeah, they will get like this one will get upkeep, and they add up and they send, and they were going to be sending for a year. So
just 1 year.
So they will be sending for
the whole amount for the whole year.
And they would want to send directly to the school.
Oh, not to you.
And not to me or my dad.
High school children.
Yes. So these girls were like, so my dad, I went to school, asked the price, they gave me admission, and my dad said, no, you and your sister, you are both finishing P7. That money can help both. Yes.
It's a good thing.
So now we looked for a school which is able to accommodate both of us on that money. And so that's how I studied. And I graduated high school from Namiriang SS.
Hey, okay.
Yes. So I studied high school in Namiriang SS, senior 1 to senior 4.
And the money kept coming.
The money would come.
Wow.
There is no single time
that it didn't
I went home before the term ends.
Wow.
When I get sick, I was always a strong boy. They treat me from school. When I commit a crime and they say we want to call your parent, I be like, punish me the way you want.
But don't call my parent.
But don't call my parent, because I knew my dad would come on the assembly ground
and give you properly.
So that's how. And actually, at that time I would always be among the best. Because remember, now I would sell samosas in holiday.
Yeah.
Not because I was in boarding now. Namiriang is in Mukono. Namiriang SS, not college. In Mukono around the center there. So I was concentrating in the school, like, you get it? I was a playful boy. The whole day I play, but in the night. So actually, in my senior 4, I got a 13. I got a 13. It was among the best, maybe the best few in Mukono that time. Nowadays, everyone gets 8.
I know.
That time, they wanted to put me in the newspapers. Remember, I'm in Jinja. It's vacation time, senior 4, and they came to the school. The school had to look for my passport photo, and they just stole the newspaper I put.
Oh.
Then they call, can your child come? Me, I'm there selling samosas. They are telling me to go and be in the news. My dad was like, no, we can't waste that transport. So these people had told my dad that you are going to have to look for money for this child to go to campus. We are going to help him up to senior 6. So when I finished senior 4, Namiriang SS, they offered me. They were like, we want to teach you for free. You do.
They even told you what to do.
Yes, you do a science course, PCB math. That time it was four science subjects. Do PCB math. So they called my dad. We sat in the office. They were like, we are giving him the place for free. Senior 6, senior 5, senior 6 scholarship. And of course, they were sure that because the school was performing well, but not like the way it does now. That time, I knew very well I would not score very highly in the school. I'm not like saying it is not a good school, but that time, the sciences, especially the biological sciences, biology, chemistry, were not well performed. So, that time, the sciences which were being performed were
physics,
and mathematics, and then economics. So, we now had a fight.
You didn't
with
want
my dad. I was like,
the standard.
Yeah, I was like, I am not coming back to the school. My dad has seen an opportunity that we can use the other money for something else. And then you study in this school. And I was like, my dad, when those guys were going, they said, you're going to save for me money for campus. I'm not sure that if I do PCB from here, I'll get
a scholarship.
On government. Please, have you saved the money? He said no. I said, then I cannot be here. Don't take these 2 years free as just a golden opportunity.
And yet the money is going to come to cover for them anyway.
Yes. So don't take it as a golden opportunity, because I'm not going to get the marks that take me for government scholarship. At campus. So we had some challenge. We had some disagreement with my dad. Actually, that was a start of a disagreement, because your dad says you don't wish your siblings well. You don't want them to benefit you. So now my performance became a problem at that time to me and to the family. And very many meetings were called in the home that this one doesn't want you to enjoy. I insisted.
That was tough. Okay.
Yes, I insisted. I was young, but I've been a hard person since I said no. Now, the other time I didn't go to boutique. Now I want to go to boutique.
Now you want to go.
So we had to rate. Of course, some relatives came in. One of my uncles came and said no. Let the child go to the school he wants. He worked for it. It's worth it. So they took me to boutique. I got the place. And then we had to transfer. We tell those people that now you're going to be sent in their school. And remember, they couldn't send to me or to my dad. So they wanted the school straight. So because of these fights we had, we delayed a bit. And by the time I went to school, it was 1 month, the end of the term of senior 5. Because the school said you can't start until you pay anything. And my dad didn't have that anything.
So you had to wait on
So we had to wait. So they said you delayed send. So they took like 4 months. Like 2 months. So by the time they sent, it was
1 month to the end of the term.
So when they paid the school like this, I went. So now when I saw that 1 month, the end of the term, I now decided that this 1 month, I'll use it only copying notes. So I just did copying notes and attending class, nothing like reading.
Okay.
And remember, we were working out of 25 points. That term, because remember, these subjects, they are like new. That time I got 5 points.
Okay.
But when you get 5 points and you are happy,
because
you're in the school you want, you've not read, you were just copying notes.
And you're like, hey, I didn't even get nothing. I was
happy with my 5 points.
Oh, God.
So, yes, I kept pushing. I came the next time. So every time I was seeing myself like I'm behind. So I would read too much. That is like the time I've read most in my life. Second term, senior 5. Third term, senior 5. And I was not reading notes. I was reading textbooks.
Okay.
There are books like Backhouse. There are books like Functional Approach, Biological Science. I was just reading books. I would go to the library and read. I say, they are teaching a different topic.
And you're reading
for you are saying that you want, by the end of the 2 years, actually by the end of like 4 terms, you want to have completed these topics in this book and the other topics in the other book. So every time marks would come when I have like 55 in biology. And the best has like 70 in biology. And they're saying this one is A material. For us, we are like D material. But me, I know what I'm building. So I was building on this thing that I'm below. I'm always behind because I came late. By the time we reached in senior 6 second term, I was speaking the science like as if you're among the people who wrote the book. Yes. So, sometimes it'd be like we had seminars and conferences. And they would,
inter-school.
Yes. And you don't even want to be among the discussants. You just want people to discuss, and then you come and be like, so here, this one didn't explain this well. Then you start adding on.
Okay.
You get?
I get.
That's how now it became in senior 6. So By the time we reached to end of
exam Cantab.
Yeah, I was really confident that I'm going to pass. Because our time it was out of 25. Biology I really did well because biology I got an A. Chemistry.
Yes, doctor.
Chemistry I was one in the class. One time when I was in the exam, you know this practical exam, like the teacher comes and opens, like the teacher can come and open and see. Cannot tell you the answer, but just be passing and see what you have
you've written.
Like you finish like maybe 1 hour before your friend. Then he calls my dad. Your son has crushed the paper.
Oh, are you listening?
No. Then I go back. They told me at home. They called us. They told us we crushed the paper.
Wow. So I told your father you crushed the paper.
Yes. So I went back in the village. I continued with my business of selling samosas.
Wow.
And the molokoni. But this time I got some other deals of like some schools around. I would do like get children to coach. Senior 1, senior 2, biology and chemistry and math and physics. I was just coaching everything. So I would get some money because parents would come because they knew I had performed very well in senior 4 and they knew I was already performing well in senior 6. So they brought. Even now I remember that some of the children are like the students I was helping and they are really doing well.
Thanks to you.
Yeah. So
results come. Now we are going to campus.
The results. I don't know what happened that time. I was not home, but I was somewhere and I heard on radio. At home, I think they had gotten the results. But me, I was somewhere around 7 p.m. I think I was maybe selling the samosas. And then the radio I heard, and they were talking about results. So when I became attentive, I heard and they saying, the child who was selling samosas.
Really?
And that's where they were the news on the NBS radio. NBS radio, what those radios in Ginger were saying that the child who was selling samosas is among the best in Ginger and in the country.
You're like, I'm the one.
Of course, I was the only one. But of course, some of them who were there, they didn't know. But I just packed my things. I had not finished studying. I just told my brothers, let's go home. I reached home. My dad was dancing. Then they told me, sit there. They said, let's bring you whatever you want. I asked for soda, cake.
Nice soda, you also.
Yeah. They gave me everything I wanted.
Oh, dear.
So, yeah. So, the many radio stations were calling in. Where can we meet you?
Celeb.
Then they come, those Observer, Simba. Some radio dudes just say, tell us your story on the what?
On the phone.
On the phone. Then I say,
I've been selling some. Okay, that's a nice story.
So basically, that's when after like maybe a month, I got government sponsorship on Mbarara University Science and Technology to do medicine and surgery.
Wow.
And when the thing came up, my dad was like, since they have said this day is the day you are supposed to go to pick your admission, go and pick. So we set off in the night to
but
make
you
sure
didn't
that
tell
our
us
place.
How many points you got?
Yes, I got 23.
Hey, mama.
I got an A in biology, an A in math, a B in physics, a B in chemistry.
Should kuja you.
Yes. One of my chemistry teachers was like, we should go for remarking.
Why?
Because of getting a B in chemistry.
Dear.
But he was like, because when you calculate the weight for pharmacy, I would go through. For medicine, I would go through. For any engineering course, I would get. So I was like, what's the purpose of the remark?
I know, you already have.
Yeah.
Okay, so you come in the night to Mbarara.
I came in the night. We had
for the first time.
Kampala. We reached at Kampala. We slept at some uncle's place, my uncle's place. And then from there, we set off very like at 3 a.m. From that time, Swift Safari was the bus. So they said, don't use another bus apart from Swift Safari. I entered Swift Safari.
With your dad?
Yeah.
Oh dear, you wanted to see where you're going.
We reach here. I do what?
You get your admission.
I get my admission. So that's when I became, because the other people, and when a Muzungu says something, they keep it. So they had said that my dad should save money for university. So instead, I saved.
I know. God saved.
In short, God saved us from the saving.
He did.
And that was the opening of the doors of becoming a doctor.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
So
basically that is it.
That is, oh my God. So for anyone there who is still struggling, you're selling water, telling you first fetch water, it is possible. Hang in there, because there's a true testimony here. So you go through campus, you've done your medicine, and you're already a doctor, right? How many years have you been working now?
Now I've been working maybe because I worked for 3 years. And then I went back for masters.
Hey, you're doing your masters, but you're not done.
Yes, I'm not. I'm remaining with 1 year.
With 1 year.
I'm in final year.
Kataina kusente. He has some money. He no longer sells samosas.
No samosas. But if like life squeezed me on the wall, I would be able to make samosa, chapati, mandazi.
You still know how to do, because
I know
you've done it almost all your life.
And even now when we have like parties and like maybe a class party, a work party, and people like we want to put chapati on the budget, I'd be like, let's make. I can make.
Okay, that's very nice. So how has the working life been? How is life now that you have finished school and you're working? Of course, comparing with the childhood, how you grew up, how is life now?
Of course, as I would say, if now I'm a doctor, that's one of the things I'm very happy about. Well, someone may see maybe in town, like they see maybe you drive a small car, you don't stay in a very big house, and they be like, this one's a doctor, why is he driving a small car? You get it? But then they can't compare to where I was,
where you've come from.
You get it? These are things which I never thought about. Like they are far-fetched. You get it? They are far-fetched. And so when I see my life now, everything, there is nothing like I keep like begging God. I keep thanking him. Because now whatever he did for me, everything else now is bonus. You get? If God gives me money and gives me a child and a wife, I feel like he's just adding on blessings. It's not like he must have given them to me, but he's giving me because he already gave me. So currently, I'm on a scholarship still.
Oh.
I'm on a scholarship, and I'm paid on the scholarship. And that means when I finish the masters, I have an assured job of lecturing after the scholarship. So that alone is something which I have never dreamt of before. And I just think that anyone who feels like they are down there, me, I was very, very down. I told you, most of the annoying things were, sometimes I would be selling the samosa and I meet some boys. And these boys, because someone has to give you money, and then you give them the samosa. So sometimes they will say, they are playing football, then they say, sit, you sit. Then they say, I have my 1,000 here. Then they are like 4. They start eating. Then they eat like 20 samosas. That's what? 1,000. Then the man starts, samosas zote ziwoma. Then they refuse to pay. Then you go. Then if you try to fight them, they now grab the rest. They grab the what? The rest, and then they run. So I reached a time when I have now to man up. So I would sometimes I sell. When I see that, when someone takes like my samosa, 4 samosas, that's 200 shillings, and is not paying, I go continue my journey. I finish selling, I get my money that I've sold, I tie it like properly here in the shirt,
and you come back.
And I come. Give me your
money.
I know there is no samosa to lose. There is nothing. I grab the man. Until he gives me the money.
You don't leave. Do they know you slept working?
So those are the stories that we went through.
Yeah, but you have made
nowadays you find like a child is in a good family. Now they are just complaining. But for us, we passed through.
At what time would you wake up in the morning?
Because I think like because we would maybe sleep at 11 p.m. after baking. Then in the morning at around 5:30 we wake up now to fry and also to pack the cowpeas in. So you bake and you make sure that in the morning you just wake up, cutting and then you tie and then put. Then we make also tie like that. So by 6:30 you are done. 7 you are making a round through the village. So all the families in my village,
they know you.
They know me that I was selling samosas.
See what the Lord has done. Hey, God is faithful. So, as we try to wind up, I have a few questions. Okay, like maybe one or two. I wanted to ask, where are your siblings now? Like, do you still have? We have something we call black tax in Africa, but usually as you grow, especially if you're like the first one, so you still have siblings in school, and you have. So, how is it now? Have they finished? Are you still trying to chip in there?
Yes, I told you we are 9. We are 9. And 4 of us have finished school.
Oh, that's good.
We finished. 3 of them are teachers. 2 are teachers of biology, chemistry. No, one is a teacher of biology, chemistry, the one who follows me. Another one is a teacher of chemistry, math. Another one is a teacher of physics, computer. And then there are those in the high school, 2 who are in senior 6 now. And then there are those in primary.
Oh dear. Okay.
So 3 in primary, 2 in high school, 4 of us finished.
You finished school.
So among those, so when I finished, I was now starting to help. And then my other siblings finished later, and then they came in. When I joined the school, now they helped me with taking over their side. And they know that when I finish school, maybe one of them can go back, and I chip in helping our siblings. So we do like
you help each other. Okay.
So of course, black tax is a little bit constraining because mine started
in primary, literally. No,
my black tax started in primary when I was working to support the family.
Yes.
Because when I finished internship, internship, they give us that allowance.
Yes.
So now that one was always the director. They will be like, send us something. You're earning.
Yeah.
But we've managed to go through that. When I was at campus, still I was on government. There was some small allowance from government for the student who is on
government.
But as a student, your needs don't. So now that's when I decided to use the guitar to now get some money. So I learned guitar. I was already a musician, but I had not learned guitar. I learned it at campus. So when I learned the guitar, now I started advertising myself. Those who have birthdays, I go play, maybe they give me like 50K or 100, then it takes me like for 2 weeks. So that's weddings. I started now going. So most of the workers of the university, the workers of the hospital, the students of the university, the people who know me within the town were now calling me to play music.
A side gig.
On their parties.
Functions.
So that's how I survived in campus. Music. It's what brought me up. Even when I finished the university, I spent maybe 2-3 months volunteering at Mbara Regional Referral Hospital because before I finally got employed there. So in that time I was volunteering, I wasn't getting an allowance or anything. So still music was pushing me.
Okay.
So the people who knew my story, who had heard of my story, they would pass through the music to be like
a blessing.
To give me something. So that's how I managed to balance coming from, because if you're already at campus and you have 8 siblings who are not yet, then your parent will be like, now for you. Okay. So there's no time I would call home. Now I'm broke.
No, you couldn't. Like yeah. So on that note, speaking of music, you have a YouTube channel.
Yes.
Kindly share.
Yes. So the stage name is Blue Tygar. BLUE, Blue Then tygar is Tygar.
The animal. God knows why.
Tygar.
Hey, not E.
Okay. Tygar.
Yeah.
So the YouTube channel is there. There are songs like Wantegera, Mkwesose, Buenonze,
and those are your compositions?
And many. Those are my compositions. Okay. I'm a songwriter. Yeah. Also, I have a band. It's called the Tigress Band. We do sing on weddings, parties, giveaway, end of year parties, and some of the members are here. Magic is there. So we're doing something. We really have something in music because music raised me. So I want also some people to get raised because of
music.
Yeah.
Okay. So kindly subscribe to his channel and you'll see more. Yeah. So as we wind up, there's only one other question that I want to ask, that I want to always ask my guests.
Yeah.
What first impression do people usually have of you, especially before they know you? Like they see you from afar, they're like, that one is like that. What is that impression?
Yes. I don't know. Because are you talking about people who meet me where I be most of the times, or people who meet me by the roadside?
No, people who meet you for the first time, but then keep seeing you after that. And then when they get to know, they're like, the first time I saw you, I thought you were like this, but now those
so I have different ways I treat people. I'm talkative. If I see the person is not proud, like let's say I meet you at a workplace or in a congregation or at church, and I know that you are not proud, I'm very talkative. I'm talkative. I can diss you. I can do what, like in like 2 days, you are what? You are like your friend. Then after those 2 days, you'll be like, the way you are talkative, I thought you drink alcohol. Because they go with me like to watch football, they find I don't drink alcohol. They're like, what? You don't drink alcohol? They say, we thought you were drinking alcohol, you were muyaye, you're even a doctor.
Wow.
So that's it. But if I find someone is
not
proud,
approachable,
is not approachable, I like make the highest level of pride. I put the highest level of pride, like like everything you do, I show you that it is not anywhere near perfect. Like even if we are like workmates, I know you are proud. Whatever you do, because me, I know myself that I'm a genius. So in everything, I start seeing a fault in everything you do. Then you will start humbling yourself.
But now,
then you come on the same page. Yes. So we come on the same page.
And then you become friends. Oh, yes. God.
So most people, when they find out things about me, like they find out that I'm always in church, I'm in choir, I'm a youth patron. I'm a patron of the youth ministry at Universal Baptist Church. Some of them feel like either I'm not as old compared to those responsibilities. Some of them feel like Bambi. You get it? Now, some places where I be, for example, if I'm in leave, I spend more time in non-hospital environment because I'm on leave. So when I'm on leave in the place I work in, I put myself on leave in all hospitals. Like I make sure I'm not available. So since I'm not available, I've been in places which are non-medical. So when someone finds me there, we are talking usual things. The problem is you can be there like at the heat, eating your Rolex and watching. Then this one comes. It's like, doctor. What's wrong with this one? Then when someone knows you're a doctor, if they were arguing with you on the spot, then they stop arguing. Okay. Then someone starts telling you, now I'm on to say, oh yeah, but I have this problem. Now you stop. Then just with your normal. Stop.
Oh God! You start consulting.
Otherwise, being a musician as well as a doctor has made me feel like if I was a musician alone, it would have not been enough. And if I was a doctor alone, it would have not been enough.
They complement each other.
Because they complement each other. I'm telling you, like if you come to my workplace, you find like 5 Brians. You get it? But when in every level I finish, you find I'm the remembered Brian. You get?
Yes.
Either because of the guitar or because at the place of work I played some song. You get it?
Someone
I brought the
with
team
you.
together. You get it? Let me tell you, when I was going back to school, I made the decision, but I had a challenge delivering it to my workmates. You get it? You know, like when you feel like you have to prepare your people. Some people, yeah, you get, some people were like, this man should be with us.
He shouldn't leave.
He shouldn't leave. So I had packaged the information very well and tell the people, I'm not very far. I'm within.
Dr. Brian, thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing with us your story. It's been an exciting story. I've known Dr. Brian for a while now, but I didn't know this story. I'm also shocked. I didn't know you're such a salesman, really. I am very surprised, but thank you so much. And I can only hope that this story will encourage someone who is going through a situation like this, or will help someone try more to achieve their dreams. That is basically the purpose for this show. So thank you so much, and thank you guys for watching. I know that these stories do not go to waste. At least there will be a life that will change their perspective. So thank you so much. My name is Sheila Atwere. I've been your host, and this is my story, Unfiltered. Bye.